Welcome to the One. Today, we're going to be talking about the story of Ishmael, one of the most fascinating and complex figures in the Bible, and his descendants, the Ishmaelites. Ishmael was the firstborn son of Abraham, one of the most important figures in the Hebrew Bible. However, Ishmael was born to Abraham's concubine, Hagar, not his wife Sarah. This led to a number of conflicts and challenges in Ishmael's life, including his banishment from Abraham's household. In this video, we will explore Ishmael's birth and banishment, God's promise to him, his relationship with Isaac, and the importance of the Ishmaelites in the Bible. We will also reflect on the relevance of Ishmael's story to our lives today. I want to make it clear that this story is based on the Bible alone. There are other interpretations of Ishmael's story in other religious traditions, such as Islam, but I will be focusing on the biblical account. Before we begin, I'd like to invite you to subscribe to our channel and show your support by clicking the like button. Your support means the world to us. Without further ado, let's dive in. Ishmael, son of Abraham by Sarah's Egyptian slave girl Hagar, was born in 1932 BCE. His father was 86 years old at the time. When informed that Sarah would also have a son from whom kings of peoples would come, Abraham petitioned God in behalf of his firstborn, saying, "Oh, that Ishmael might live before you." God's reply, after declaring that the future son Isaac would be the covenant heir, was, "As regards Ishmael, I have heard you. Look, I will bless him and will make him fruitful and will multiply him very, very much. He will produce 12 chieftains, and I will make him become a great nation." Ishmael was then circumcised, at the age of 13, along with his father and his father's servants. A year later Isaac was born. Ishmael was now 14. 5 years after that, in 1913 BCE, on the day of Isaac's being weaned, Ishmael was caught mocking Isaac at his younger half-brother. This was no innocent child's play on the part of Ishmael. Rather, as implied by the next verse in the account, it may have involved a taunting of Isaac over heirship. The Apostle Paul says these events were a symbolic drama and shows that the mistreatment of Isaac by the half-blooded Egyptian Ishmael was persecution. Hence, this was the beginning of the foretold 400 years of Israel's affliction that ended with deliverance from Egyptian bondage in 1513 BCE. Ishmael's demonstration of scorn toward Isaac led to the dismissal of him and his mother from Abraham's household, but not without provisions for their journey. Abraham took bread and a skin bottle of water and gave it to Hagar. He set these on her shoulder and then sent her away along with the boy. Hagar apparently lost her way in the wilderness of Beersheba, and so when the water ran out and Ishmael became exhausted, she pushed the boy under one of the bushes. In accord with the meaning of Ishmael's name, God heard his cry for help, provided the necessary water, and allowed him to live to become an archer. As a nomadic inhabitant of the Paran wilderness, he fulfilled the prophecy that said of him, "He will be a wild donkey of a man. His hand will be against everyone, and everyone's hand will be against him, and he will dwell opposite all his brothers." Hagar found an Egyptian wife for her son, and he in time fathered 12 sons, chieftains, and family heads of the promised, great nation of Ishmaelites. Ishmael also had at least one daughter, Mahalath, who married Esau. At the age of 89 Ishmael assisted Isaac in burying their father Abraham. After that he lived another 48 years, dying in 1795 BCE at the age of 137. As God had promised, the Ishmaelites grew to become a great nation, that they will be too numerous to count. But instead of settling down, they built a few cities and preferred the nomadic life. Ishmael himself was a wild donkey of a man, that is, a restless wanderer who roamed the wilderness of Paran and lived by his bow and arrows. His descendants were likewise tent-dwelling Bedouin for the most part, a people who ranged over the Sinai Peninsula from in front of Egypt, that is, to the east of Egypt and across northern Arabia as far as Assyria. They were noted for being a fierce, warlike people hard to get along with, even as it was said of their father Ishmael, "His hand will be against everyone, and everyone's hand will be against him." In the course of time it is quite likely that intermarriage between Ishmaelites and descendants of Abraham through Keturah occurred, resulting in the inhabitants of sections of Arabia. Since Ishmael and Midian were half-brothers, any intermarriage of their respective descendants with the amalgamation of their blood, habits, traits, and occupations could have given rise to an interchangeable usage of the terms Ishmaelites and Midianites, as is noted in the description of the caravan that sold Joseph into Egyptian slavery. In the days of Gideon, the hordes that invaded Israel were described as both Midianites and Ishmaelites, one of the identifying marks of the latter being their gold nose rings. The animosity Ishmael had toward Isaac seems to have been handed down to his descendants, even to the extent of hating the God of Isaac, for the psalmist, in enumerating those that are, who hate Jehovah, includes the Ishmaelites. There were, however, evidently exceptions. Under the organizational arrangement instituted by David, Obil, who is referred to as an Ishmaelite, had supervision over the camels of the king. Muhammad, the founder of Islam, claimed to be an Ishmaelite descendant of Abraham. If you enjoyed this content, please subscribe to this channel, hit that like button, leave your comments below and share it with your friends. Thanks for watching. God bless.